Welcome to the Waves of Change podcast, where we aim to inspire the listener to awaken to their purpose and take the action required to live life on their own terms. My name is Darragh Byrne, confidence and mindset coach, speaker, entrepreneur and humanitarian. I will be sitting down with creators from all walks of life who grew through the waves of change in their lives to be making the impact in the world they are today. We acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the Eora Nation, as the traditional custodians of the country we are meeting on today. We recognise their continued connection to the land and waters and thank them for protecting this coastline and its ecosystem since time immemorial. We pay our respects to elders past and present and emerging, and extend that respect to all First Nations people that listen today. Hello, how are you doing today, brother?
Good, man. Good. It's we're in the middle of winter here, and I'm not gonna lie, it was minus 25 today, pal.
Yeah, stop it.
Yeah, I actually went for a 7.5K run in it, and it was very refreshing. But I don't know why I do it. I always seem to go on my runs when it's absolutely conditions I shouldn't be going in. It's one of them. I wake up and say, I think I'll go for a run today. And you go outside and go, what am I doing? Minus 25.
But you're already in the fancy gear, the spandex and the works.
All the spandex, yeah.
On.
Yeah,
what colour is your spandex?
I have red ones. Nice red ones.
They go well with your eyes anyway.
Yeah, mate. I had to put the new shades on. I was expecting you to slag me over the glasses, but I was like quite impressed I didn't get a slagging yet.
Are they blue light blocker glasses?
Yeah,
I lost mine. I need to at a fancy dress party, funny enough, I was dressed as a granny. with a Zimmer frame and all.
Brilliant.
I couldn't say like a granny either by the end of the night, so
I can imagine. Yeah.
So God knows where they are. Yeah. Well, Robbie, give us a quick recap on life for you growing up.
Mate, life for me growing up was in Finglas, and I had a good childhood, man. I really did. I look back at growing up in Dublin as being very lucky, and coming from a big family, and never, to be honest, growing up in Finglas was like I was a quiet kid. I was, compared to the rest of my brothers and mad sisters. I was quiet, but as I got older, you get into the usual stuff when you're from them areas, and but listen, I've all my memories of being brought up in Dublin is nothing but good. I don't really have any ill memories of it, and lucky I have a good family behind me as well, so I'm very, like, I've done a lot of traveling like yourself, and I'm really proud of where I've come from. Where I come from, and it stands for you, from the people we've met, everyone remembers you, because of, I think it's the Dublin character.
Yeah. The wild and boldness of it all.
Yeah, man. And being very vocal and not being afraid to say what you think, and I think that stands for you.
Yeah, 100%. And just before we carry on, Robbie is the founder of Bob's Banter. It's another podcast.
Yeah.
It's another podcast, and I was on there with him previously. But
good times.
Incredible times. And the working class areas of Dublin, my people will hear long before they hear this, but my introduction podcast, and I speak about that level of wisdom. It's I won't say education, like book smart education, but that level of wisdom that you generate in those areas, like you got to grow up fast. It's not like it's there's not a college on the planet I don't feel, and not just Dublin. By the way, Finglas, for anyone who's listening, is in Dublin. That is not from Ireland, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, any working class, any working class area anywhere in the world, it's I feel people need to grow up really fast, and there's not a college on the planet, no matter how prestigious it is, can give you these types of teachings.
100%, man. You know, like I say to me nephews when I go home, like you're mad to go to these schools and all of this, go to college, but coming up, you only appreciate it as you get older of what you've learned as a kid coming from these rough streets. Because I mean, in Canada, in Toronto, great city, but people aren't street smart. They haven't a clue. And I really do think, and when I say street smart, I don't mean you need to be into wheeling and dealing and stuff. It's just being wise. When you meet people, you can kind of judge what kind of people you're meeting very quickly, and that's from coming where I'm from. Like, you know the story where you're from. You kind of have to find your own way very quickly. So it's a blessing.
Yeah, 100%, man. I wouldn't. There's not a single moment in my whole life that I would change. Although there's a lot of shame. Oh, used to be a lot of shame, pain, and some of my biggest lessons came wrapped uh, in the worst or the hardest pain. But now looking back again, I always say I'm not a victim to my circumstances, or I'm not. What was it? I'm not a victim to my I'm not a victim to my circumstances. I'm a product of them. So yeah, that's it. Without any of that type of hardship in my life, and good stuff as well, I wouldn't be here where I am today. So
Yeah.
but yeah, back to you, Robbie. Yeah, you grew up in Dublin. You done you done your apprenticeship, and yeah, you set sail. What
Yeah,
what what
man.
what was next for you?
Man, I left Dublin in 2007, only a nipper, and hadn't a clue what I was going into. Honestly, it was probably the scare. In the moment, it wasn't scary because I was going with my friends, but I quickly found out that I was terrified. It was I didn't know how to make me bed, man. I didn't know how to. I wouldn't honestly. I didn't know how to put beans into a pot. I was that bad. My mom done everything for me. So I went into the big bad world of not knowing how to do anything, and quickly realized, it's, if you don't do anything for yourself, you're gonna be left behind. Your friends are your friends, but
They're not gonna wipe your ass like
yeah,
your
they're
ma
not
used
gonna.
to.
Yeah, they're not gonna do all that, and I guess it was a shock, man. It really was, and I got really homesick. I always remember the first year away in Australia. I was very, very homesick, and I didn't think I'd last. But here I am in 2022, still away from home, and I miss home more than ever now. But yeah, like, just the whole journey through Australia made me grow up real quick, and I done a stint in Asia, and you were there. You came over and spent a few weeks there with me, and very confusing time all the same. I went through some mad stuff
What, you
over
weren't
there.
sure you were a man or a woman?
Well, I wasn't sure if I fancied a man or a woman. That's what it was. But I think it was a beautiful thing because I learned a hell of a lot, man. Like, really, I think for them 3 years away, I learned so much. I grew so much. I think when I left, I was 24, and I honestly believe I had a mentality of a 16-year-old going. I really do. But them 3 years helped me catch up.
That was your 3 years in Australia. So just quickly, I'll briefly touch on two things. one before I left, when I said my goodbyes to everyone and whatever, because we were like, we left within an 8 week period, and this is in my first episode, but the reason I left, not the reason, but part of it was, I was down the pub with our little man.
Oh yeah, he's up.
I don't know what's happening there. Oh, they're gone now. Beautiful. His teeth are coming through anyways, but yeah, so um all the lads were over here, and I was down the local pub. I gave up drinking, all, the boys I used to party with, Drummer and Wayne and all. I think you met a
Oh
few of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, the party animals. So
I know them.
but in the local, when the outfits asked me, how's the lads getting on? And I told them everything, they're living the life, they're working this job, they're on the beach, they're partying away, just speaking to them an hour ago. And then the outfits sort of, got into this conversation of, uh, if I was 15 years younger, or if I wasn't married, or if I didn't have this mortgage, or all of these, if I
Yeah.
didn't, then I don't know what this part of all of this stuff, which will tie back into the next part, was innately in me. When I heard that, I was like, even though I was young, I was 21, and I'd no idea of the outside world or anything. I lived in York Street, and that was it. That was
Yeah.
sort of where I, hung around. I branched out a little bit, but when I heard that, I was like, what? There's no way, because they're obviously in their 40s or whatever ages they are. And it's like, there's no way I'm gonna wait until, or
Yeah.
even grow up to that age, and look back at my life and talk like that, And I rang Warrener and literally drove over. I said, "Get ready, I'm coming to pick you up." He's like, "You all right? Everything all right?" It's like, "Yeah, grand." Just picked them up, and we went into Abbey Street and booked 2 flights to Australia. We were gone 8 weeks later.
That's
So
insane.
yeah, gone. But what I'm reaching, or what I'm getting at here is, when I was leaving, I was grand until I was telling my goodbye. Shit, I
How hard
swear.
was that?
Blubber and met, like, I was going down to jump into the car and drive off, because I was
Mm.
driving out to Finglas, because I used to live there, and then getting a taxi the rest of the way. But I fucking turned into a blubbering mess, and her friend and I was there, wasn't she? And my mom played sort me out, you know what I mean? I thought she'd have been upset, so I'm going,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
here I am at the door in a heap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Snotting and
Yeah.
all. She's like, "Darragh, relax."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's like,
Ah,
"Relax."
stop.
But
Tough
yeah,
love.
the next sentence stands with me till today. It's actually it's a big thing that I lived by throughout my whole. It stands with me till today, and the same with my children. I'll teach them was, if you don't like it, you can just get a flight home.
So true, bud.
Bang, house of cards, stress, pressure, whatever was going on in my body was like, bang, just dissipated. And that
Yeah.
was always for me. Then it was like, I'm going to, no matter where I go in the world, I can be home tomorrow.
Exactly,
and
mate.
and then that was it. So in regards to homesickness and being so far away from home, all of that, that was the
Yeah, that was
mindset that I
yeah.
had as a 21-year-old, thanks to my ma. But some of the stresses and the pressures and the what ifs and all that we put on ourselves, like you
Yeah.
being
Yeah, for
over there
sure.
at 16, not at 16, but
Yeah.
whatever age you were there, but the pressures of being there and the stresses of being at home, and a
Mm.
lot mindset, like simple mindset shifts and a different perspective is enough to,
100.
relieve all of that stress,
Most
all of that
definitely.
pressure.
Most
Um,
definitely. But a lot of people aren't in that mindset at the time to think like that, The fact that
mhm.
you even knew, like, my ma probably did say something like that to me, but I didn't. It just went straight through, you know. All I remember my ma saying is, "You'll be grand."
You'll be grand.
All right, you
Good
know.
luck.
So, good luck. Get out.
One less mouth to feed, and I had
One
to do
down.
your washing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm out of
yeah.
picking his jocks up off the floor.
Exactly.
Go on, see you later.
All the puke on a Sunday morning. I don't have to clean it anymore, you know.
I'm sure my ma was thinking the same. She's like, relax, Silvia, go on.
I heard your ma had a party when you left.
I went on for 6 months.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. And then what did this, like, again, one of the biggest profound moments of my life was shared with you, Robbie, in Thailand, in the Ark Bar in Koh Samui.
Yeah.
We randomly, if you want to say random, I believe in the universe and synchronicity, and we're all on this path. Anyways, that's my belief. But I walked into the bar and there's this handsome devil with a big, massive head, long forehead. The works with a big, long point in front of him.
the Finglas lad sitting there representing.
The Finglas lassie, yeah, he was there. He had a pair of hot pants on with an Everton jersey. French knickers, they were pink.
I thought I was stylish. I thought I was stylish.
He didn't know whether he was a man or a woman, but look at it, we brought him back. We brought him back.
Fantastic.
Robbie, Jordan that day, it was me, Warren, and Robbie, and Robbie told me he was going to be a millionaire by the age of 30. The law of attraction. Have you not heard of the law of attraction? And me and Warren, I were giving him stick, you know what I mean?
Load of abuse, yeah.
Yeah, you're off the wall, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was $1 million baht, was $100 over there, remember?
That's right. That's what I was talking about.
Hey, look, I have loads of millions in my pockets. Yeah, do you want one? I can sort that out with you now. When are you 30? I think it was 27 or whatever age you were at the time. But that was that anyways. And fast forward a couple of years, I was ringing up Robbie in my darkest hour to see what that book was.
That's right.
Robbie, tell us what it was like from your perspective and what Thailand was like for you.
I mean, Thailand was, honestly, I'll be honest, pal, I don't remember much of it because I was drinking so much. I was, I think, in a way, like when I think back of it, I just remember partying. But I mean, I would like to think like as I get older, I'll remember more, but it's all a blur. And really, like, if I was ever giving advice to a young lad going away, I'd 100% tell them to take it all in instead of drinking the way, you know, we drank. You know what it was like. It was an absolute, it was like living a Saturday night every night for guts of a year, you know. And it was it was I went off me train of thought of becoming a millionaire to just being let me buy a bar in Thailand and I'll be happy. You know. So, but in that moment, I remember I was heavily into the law of attraction back then, like really, really into it, and I did believe, like, because I was very unhappy in Finglas when I was there, I knew I needed to leave to you know, spread the wings, you know, find out about myself. And going to, like, it was like I kept telling myself, I'm going to go to these places that I've never been to. I believe it. And I did. I ended up going. And I look back at that now, and over the last few years, I've looked back at, you know, accomplishments that I've done. And, you know, I've achieved a lot, whether it's an achievement for me, you know, the stuff I've done. And I think the law of attraction, like getting into that mode of believing it, asking, receiving, and it came in, you know, but it was in that mindset I had back then. I was just totally, I was obsessed with The Secret, you know, I was obsessed with it. And when I met you and I told you about it, I remember it so well, like the abuse you and Warren were giving me, telling me I was a fruitcake. And I was like, no, I don't think I'm a fruitcake. I think this is spot on. And I remember when you asked me then a few years later about it, it was like, I was glad to, you know, share the knowledge. But you went on your journey with that then, and look at you now.
Yeah. Well,
Look at you now,
look,
sunshine.
I'm sitting over here like a spiritual guru, giving you
Like a
stick.
guru,
Still giving you
man.
stick.
That's not part of the guru code. You can't give stick to anyone.
Look, you can do whatever you want in my world.
That's right. That's right.
But
yeah, man. I honestly like. I do believe in the universe, and I do believe we're all on a journey and meeting people, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And going to Thailand, me and you bumping into each other there was meant to happen. And like, you look, me and you, for the amount of people we know in life, me and you have always kept contact. You know what I mean? And we've probably only seen each other like 3 times in 10 years.
Yes. Fuck that. Wow. Do you know what? That's just dropped me in it right now. Even because I seen you in Foss, in that college in Ballyfermot, and then because I would have only met you a bleeding handful of times in life.
Yeah. I remember
like for a long time.
I remember you as a kid, and as I got older, I always remember like it like
the little black family.
I always remember a black kid in me mas, but I never knew who it was. And then it all came together when I met you. It was like, what are the chances of this? Like, such a small world, like, bang, sitting next to each other. What the hell is going on here? And
that was like, did you? Trying to remember, we did, didn't we? We done Bolton Street together too.
No. We just done Ballyfermot.
Oh, was that right? Was it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of another fella that's here. Yeah, another fella got, because I had a broken leg in there, and he's, what was he calling me? Peggy leg. Peggy leg. Do you only show up to get your results, you bally? Yeah, I just about scraped that apprenticeship on the back end, man. I got let go of work. But anyways, we won't go down that road. But in regards to the secret and this innate wisdom, it's like so just to give a highlight, when I reached out to Robbie, I was having suicidal thoughts. It was exactly 2 years later. I've been on the session for, the whole Christmas, fucking few different circumstances. And when I was on the phone to home, and everyone that I loved, it was like, everyone was having a great time. And when I hung up the phone, at one time I hung up the phone, and man, I was like, everyone's having a great time, they wouldn't even miss you if you were gone. Was a thought. And for me, in my whole life, I'd never been anxious, stressed, depressed, anything like that ever. And I partied for years before that. And when that dropped into my awareness, I didn't know what to do with it, and I was scary. And it took me a few days to figure out what to do with it. And then also I was ringing people in the meantime, and when I was ringing and hanging up, it was like a little bit more of me was dying inside each time, because myself, you know what I mean, you can't hide from yourself.
True. Yeah.
And that's a big one for anyone who's listening. You can't hide from yourself. So putting on the brave face out there is well and good, but your true self is always listening. And for me, it was crucifying, and hanging up on whoever I was speaking to, and painting that picture of the dream life, you're on the beach, it's 40 degrees, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, I was suffering in silence, and I didn't know who to speak to about it. Reached out to Robbie, and again, Robbie, I was like, somehow I remembered what was the name of that book. It was exactly 2 years later. What was the name of that book? And I read that book in 2 days, and I read it twice as well. And I was like, every bit, it's in the remembering of who you truly are that you awaken to your true potential. Do you feel that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And like, what was it, that book for you that like you just got a smack into the face from that book?
Yeah, well, definitely, because two things. One, I'd never been anxious or depressed or definitely not suicidal before.
Mm,
To say I was suicidal is, I don't know how far I can push that one, but the thoughts were there, and I was like, I didn't know what to do with them. But so I was stressed and depressed about that. Excuse me.
yeah, yeah,
And then with that book, what it done was, so throughout my life, you know that drive that you spoke about. Well, I was a bit different to your upbringing. Um, I drove for everything that I have in my life, and all the way up to that point, if I was going on a holiday, this is what I need to do to save for that. This is what
mm,
comes first. If I want to buy a car, this is what
mm,
comes first. And it's partly to do with how my ma taught me as a kid to manage finances, but also to have that drive to want to, the same with the curiosity of, going living in Finglas, although I lived
mm,
there when I was younger. But, um, don't go over the north side because they're scumbags. Don't go to Crumlin because they're whatever. Don't go up there because whatever. It's like, instead of taking that on from somebody else,
yeah,
I'd go and find out for
yeah,
myself.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and, and
yeah,
that's that curious nature
right,
and that wanderlust of wanting to learn
yeah,
for myself. But that book helped me to remember all of the times in my life that I pushed through to create whatever I had done in my life.
yeah,
So the book, yes, definitely it was a massive bleeding smack in the face. So the likes of the law of attraction and manifestation and self-love and things like that, um, I had been doing before I knew I was doing them.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
So
yeah,
that book helped me remember
right,
and not give them a title, but a realization that,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? Wow, if you
definitely.
continue to live with this type of mindset,
You,
your potential is limitless. And that
it's
was,
a,
yeah,
that's beautiful. That's
mm,
beautiful. I'm
that
just
was
gonna
my,
run over here, pal. Just give me 1 sec. One
yeah, go
second.
ahead. That was, while you're on the move, that was definitely the pivotal moment. The world spinning on its axis for me. To say that whatever the situation was with you and the book, to say it saved my life, like again, I always say this, I can't be certain, but it definitely changed my life forever. It pivoted me slightly onto the path that I'm on today, and this is now what I do for a living. So I go from go from
Mate,
slagging Robbie about it to
what a
teaching it.
what a beautiful journey though. Like I mean, I take a lot of like I look up to you, pal. The fact that you took that jump out of what I assume is what you only knew, because I still think about it every day about just walking away from what I do. Now I don't hate what I do, but I'm a plumber like you were, but I don't think I have the kahunas to do it, because I look up to you and I really say, like, fair play to you, Pat, because not many people can do what you've done.
Mm,
So big,
thank
big,
you.
like seriously, man, you got to give yourself credit. And anytime you have that, like, I don't need to be giving you advice, but anytime you have that dark, inside your head, you have to look and say, listen, look at what I've done. Not many people do that.
100%, Dan. I received that, Robbie. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Um, and also to bring it back to you and your story, it's like, um, exactly that. So you say, look back and look at the things that you've accomplished. But
Mm,
from where I'm sitting, not in regards to, materialistic things, accomplishment in your energetic growth. Um, and like, going traveling the world and, being away from your man, learning how to survive
mm,
outside of being, babysat or mammy or whatever.
yeah,
And then all the way to where you're at today. And that's the name of the podcast, is The Waves of Change. And
yeah,
this is
yeah.
literally it. We're guaranteed death and we're guaranteed change in our lives. And can you explain more about your mindset and your, let's say that 16-year-old and now? Um,
I think, you know, I like, I think a lot for me, like my mindset kind of, I think it changed, like life started changing for me in Canada big time. Like I start, I don't know, it's hard to put it right. You know, I can't really say when and where it happened, but I just remember this. And I'll be honest, man, it's been only the last 5 years of my life where I've been really on a journey of like gratitude and self-love. And, you know, I think the gratitude thing for me, and like being, you know, very grateful of what I have in life. And that was only in the last 5 years, pal. We could go to, I was like, because I'm 40 this year, believe it or not.
What?
And yeah, man, I'm 40 in June. And like I'd say it was like 35 is from 35 to when I was a young fella, it was just a blur, man. And I really mean that. It was all just a bleeding blur. I don't, obviously I have some highlights I can look back and say I remember that, but if you ask me as from 35 to 39, I remember a shit ton, because I got rid of things that weren't serving me, you know. And you know, obviously I still like an old drink, but it's not nowhere near than what I used to. And I think the sense of doing what serves me right, you know, what helps me. And you know, I just think, yeah, Canada has changed my life. It really has. I don't think if I had stayed in Australia, I would never be where I wouldn't have this mindset.
Incredible.
You know, Canada is Toronto in a whole. The people over here are fantastic. I think a lot's changing in the last 2 years, obviously, with what's going on. But without Toronto, I don't know where I'd be or what kind of person I'd be. And I'm very, very grateful for it, man. Really, really.
Without you, I don't know what sort of city that would be, my man.
Yeah, true. That's true. It's
probably dripping gold on the sidewalk. He's on Finglas.
This fellas are bleeding blue, lad. Yeah, this
fellas to the wall.
But no, I'm very like, and I went to Peru, man, and Peru really, really pushed the boundaries for me, you know. And I've told you about this in the past, but definitely Peru, when I went and sat with ayahuasca, it opened up something that, like, I didn't know it knew existed in me, you know. So you know, like, listen, man, I still think about it every day. Every day, I'm not gonna, like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think what I seen when I done ayahuasca.
Yeah, I love it.
And it was terrifying, and I still struggle with a lot of it, because a lot of it to me doesn't make any sense. But I think that's the beauty of it too, you know. You kind of have to figure that out.
The living in curiosity. And one of my mentors, I just pay some homage to him, Zion Kim. A quote that he said that landed with me deeply is, can you go through your life without losing your thirst for curiosity?
That's beautiful.
And I only done I only had a plant medicine ceremony, 5-day retreat in November, just gone, so only a few weeks ago. And wow. It's still, I'm. Do you know what? It's actually so funny, because what I done, it's I'll just get a page up so people can see what I'm talking about, right? So the one night, right, the first night I done it, was coming back into myself and was like, you know, I was trying to figure out what I would do. Hold on 1 second, I'll just
man,
get this page up there. There we go. So yeah, so like through my notepad here, you are you know, I opened up the notepad to you know, forward like a few pages ahead, so I'd have space to do what I want with it. And now I've caught up to that now, so now I'm at the pages of the ayahuasca journey, which is the next page to you, and taking notes on you on this podcast.
Right.
So what I wanted to do after it, instead of intellectualizing what had happened. I took
Mm-hmm.
my pen and I closed my eyes and just sort of allowed the spirit to speak through me
Okay.
and just scribbled. So
And
if
is
you
this
see,
during the ceremony?
no, it's at the
This is
very
after
end
it.
of it. You see all the scribbles there?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah,
It's all now. Some of it I can't understand.
yeah, yeah,
I've got to. There's a lot there. There's and then I also allowed it to just be doesn't whatever's coming through, let it. Not
mm-hmm,
it doesn't have to make sense type of thing.
mm-hmm.
So we're talking about search and the kids 1 minute and fucking, being in nature or whatever. The next minute there again, just all scribble. So that was that was again instead of trying to, because I sat there for about an hour trying to, because the ceremony went on for like I think it was 8 hours,
Yeah, right,
eight
right.
hours, and by the end of it, then because I had 3 cups, I
Oh,
was like,
Jesus Christ! Three
yeah,
cups you were doing. I
three
was
cups.
banjoed after a half a cup, stuck to the bed.
Gonzo, yeah, Gonzo. 3 cups. So I was definitely the last. They are there. I was the last to. I was the last one in there, and they leave the music on, and they leave the music on while you're in there,
Mm-hmm.
for an hour or two, in like a temple slash cottage. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just sitting there, still tripping, still journeying, just in a ball of love, just
Yeah,
in a ball, just the
yeah.
music, and we're in nature, like we're in this hinterland in the rainforest, so you could see the moon out the window. It was a full moon, and it was an eclipse. It was an eclipse as
Oh
well.
wow. Yeah, yeah.
So just like, wow, what the fuck just happened? Do you know what I mean? Where do I start here? And I swear to God, I sat with a notepad on my lap for about an hour, and I was just like, what, fuck that. There's no point trying to put it into words, just
Yeah, yeah,
just let it. And I just just put my pen down and closed my eyes
yeah.
and
I
just went with it, man. Just
I
whatever
can
came
I
through.
can relate to that, pal, because I done something very similar. Once my ceremony was done, or like the few of them that I done, it was I was like, there was so much going on. I needed to write it down, and
Hmm.
I look back at it now, and it's I still go, what the fuck was that? It doesn't make any sense to me, but I think about it every day. There's not a day that doesn't pop by in my life that it doesn't. I don't go, what the fuck did that mean? And I still see it. I can see exactly what I see, and I had
Hmm.
some very dark moments, and with my mom, what she's going through now, I kind of seeing that in the ceremony, and
Oh
it
shit.
when my mum, so in one of the ceremonies, I seen my mum with oxygen, and I seen she was very frail, but I didn't know anything what it meant. But in the moment, I felt she passed in the ceremony. I could
Mm.
feel her passing, but I didn't see her passing. So I was very upset. And then when I went home in summer, I seen my mum, and she had the oxygen on her,
Mm.
and
So
it was very like I got the quick. I remember. I know it. I've seen
I've
this
seen
before.
this before, yeah, the
Yeah,
realization.
yeah.
And just quickly, may I ask, how long ago you were in Peru and sat with the
It
plants?
was 2000, and
Sat with the medicine.
it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, yeah. 3 years ago, 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, and then just to highlight what's going on for your man at the minute.
Um, you know, I fuck, man. I like, I hope she doesn't listen to this, because she probably will give me shit if I say what I think. But like, I don't think there's much left in her, to be honest, pal. She's struggling. From the woman, like, I seen her when, just say in summer I seen her, but previous to that I hadn't seen her in like 16 months, and the 16 months she was fine, and then fast forward to July this year, she couldn't walk, she could hardly talk, she was on a breathing, and then come back Christmas, and her speech is better, but her ableness to do things it's gone. Like, she can't do anything. She's struggling getting up and down the stairs. So breaks me heart, and I think it could have been avoided, but I mean, that's for people who think they have the scientific research behind to say that it couldn't have been avoided. But I know what my ma was like prior to taking a and I don't want to bring up on your podcast, but my ma tells me that she knows that's what's done it to her. So yeah, so for me, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth, with all this shit going on and people forcing things and telling you need to do it, but you don't need to do anything, man. It should be your choice.
I just want to extend my love and my love and my prayers to your ma first of all, and then you and
appreciate it, man.
Your whole family. Deep love and deep healing, and hopefully we can figure something out and you know what I mean, turn it around.
100%.
Turn it around. So sad. And
it is.
Can you quickly tell us how long after she had them that something? Yeah, how long after she had them that? Yeah, what was the process after?
She had a stroke 2 days after her and then just has never recovered. So, and she had a bad stroke, and then she had some issues with her heart now, and she's now considered I could get this term wrong, but stage 4 heart disease patient. Now, my ma has never been in and out of hospital, as like she's 71 now, and the past 2 years she's been in and out. No, it's not even the past 2. It's the past year she's been in and out of hospital every couple of months, because she says to me, once she took the like within a few hours she felt something was wrong.
Shit.
Now doctors say that she's a smoker, and she wasn't a drinker, but she was a smoker. She is a smoker. Well, she's not anymore, but she was at the time. And they say, she was bad health and stuff. But if she had bad health, why force the on her?
It's just it's such a bloody grey area. Not grey area. It is a grey area actually. It's like it's just a load of bollocks, to be honest.
It is.
It's such a and there's conversations you have with people and people who believe on one side, and I don't want to bring it into sides and all of that, and my intention was never to have any of these type of conversations on here.
Exactly.
But the reality is, this is the reality. Simple. I'm having people on here to speak about their the waves of change in their lives, and I mean, if this isn't a fucking change in your life, then I don't know what is, and how you can be with that for not just your ma, but the ripple effect that goes through the family of what this damage has caused. And
it's difficult, man. Even for me, going back and forth, pal, these governments are making it more or less impossible. And I speak to you a lot about how difficult it has been for me to get work because I'm unvaccinated. It's ridiculous, and then going home, having to, do your quarantine, or you can't see your parents, or you can't see this or that, or, get the fuck out of here, This is bullshit. And people need to wake the fuck up, because our livelihoods and our freedom is being pulled away from us in front of our very eyes, and we're not doing nothing about it. Scary, makes me sick, and it gets to me. It bugs me, man. And I don't like. I try and avoid talking about it, because it really it turns on a switch on me, and I don't think I would have had this attitude even if my ma was all right, but I wouldn't be so like when people get on to me about these. And when I was at home at Christmas in Dublin, I would have never thought most of my Dublin friends would have the answers. Like I thought they would have been the guys saying, no, don't get it. But all of them are like, yeah, you should be getting it. And it's like, what? I thought you guys, the inner city lads would be no way. But yeah, no, they're pushing for it. They believe it. And it's each to their own. I get it. But I think they need to open their eyes and really look at different ways of getting information.
Yeah, look, it's a really tricky one, and just before we go, just maybe we change that word and not say that word. I don't know what I mean, I can beep them out, but I don't know what the situation is with these platforms and that. Just that word, or just say a different word, or whatever. But but yeah, it's such a polarizing thing, and people in Ireland, for us, they can say from where I'm sitting and what I can see, and just like it's easy for us to say because they have been locked up for almost 2 years, and they've had. I mean, you take the pub away from any Irish person, it's like, do you know what I mean? And it's like they know where to attack, that way.
100%.
And when you're not only that, are you when you're in and getting that level of propaganda pumped in your face 24/7, you'd lift up your phone, you listen to the radio, you put on the news. You don't even put on the news. You walk by a shop and these newspapers have plastered
headlines everywhere.
Yeah, and we have a friend here, and he's he's the head of a major news organization here. He's the what is it, the editor of the newsroom or something? But the film news.
Right.
But he's celebrating it like, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's like, what? Get away from me, I'll see you later. But yeah, back to, not to I always bring it back to, humans. If you want to look or trust, your ma, right? Your ma 40 years of your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? One of my best friends, two of them, he's at home now, trying to sort out his 12-year-old daughter. And you know what? I won't share that story because it's but the 12-year-old daughter, similar circumstances, only days, and in a position that they were never in before ever. So it's like for us, I've got Fia here, I've got Bodie, I know Saoirse, but you've known your man for 40 years. And if something is wrong, you know what I mean? If you walk in and let's say they're upset or sad about something, you go, "Yeah, all right, man."
Exactly.
You're sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
man.
to try for somebody to come in with a piece of paper because the news told them that this is the way it is, and that's supposed to be the outcome of it, to overrule. So not only they're not actually. So what I've discovered is during a lot of these conversations, they're not actually. It's not critical thinking conversation. It's a repeat of what has been said from something or somewhere. It's not
I hear you.
do you know what I mean? So it's this repetition, this robotic answer, and again, like I said, people who have been locked in and fucking hammered with that amount of information, I understand why their mind is in it, believes certain things like that, but to vilify and deny somebody of their human experience. You cannot do that.
Yeah. I get
you for me to say to you, no, this is what you feel. You know what I mean? You don't have a broken leg.
What are you on about?
You've just been in the hospital getting fucking screws and bolts, and also your leg is not broken. Do you know what I mean? Your man over there, he's a specialist in his field. He told me that your leg's not broken.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It's this is what we're living in, pal.
Yeah, and also it's like, again, with love and respect, whatever people choose for themselves is their own business, and I'm happy for them.
Definitely.
You've got my respect, and just just recognize, has it been done from coercion, or have you been, what's it called, um consent, informed consent? Have you been like really given informed consent?
Right.
Because through what I've spoke about, and like you wouldn't believe how many people reach out to me with stories about these type of things, um and the harsh truth that I feel, it's like it's a case of, people won't believe it until it happens to them, or someone
Exactly,
close to
mate.
them. And that's incredibly, I'm really, really sad. That brings me great sadness, I don't like to see anybody suffering, regardless of what you believe or choices, or if you give me dogs abuse or whatever. I just want to see people succeed in health, so yeah, part of why, this podcast is now to create the vision of a world that we get to live in together in harmony, because eventually people are going to see through this narrative, and um they're gonna, we're gonna, we all need direction. We all, we need to have a different option, not
Hmm.
direction, a different option. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely,
A
man.
different option.
Definitely, pal. And I think like what you're doing with your podcast is, the the um the energy you put into it and the energy you give out from it, you're gonna get like tremendous success with it, because I really think like it's I think like when you listen to podcasts a lot lately, it's kind of the same stuff. You're trying to kind of bring a positive twist to it, and I really think that's a fantastic thing, pal. You're doing a great thing,
Mm,
and you
mm.
know should be proud of yourself, pal.
Thank you very much. I am, and I really received that. So, just to bring it back to you and your story. So, I'm gonna give huge, huge love to your ma, your family,
Hmm. Yeah,
deep, deep
appreciate it.
respect right now. We're gonna move on from that.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm really, I'm feeling it right now. This is the energy I as an empath as well. When people are feeling a
yeah,
certain way, it's like I can tap into their energy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel it.
yeah, man.
So yeah, like again, I'm giving huge amount of love to him right now. Yeah, and then regards to you going back into that country, and uh, you know what, you know what went on at the border, or whatever you'd call it, the airport, and then also, what is your, your working and living situation right now?
Are you talking about when I came back into Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I came back in fairness, it was fairly straightforward. I expected a lot worse, but they did want me to do a COVID test when I got in, and that didn't. Oh, actually, when I landed, they said to me, "You're on." They said the guy took my passport and he said, "Oh, you've tested positive for recently," and I said, "No." And he looked at my passport and he looked at the screen and he said, "On the screen, you've tested positive." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? How does that have that information about me?" And he's like, "Oh, when's the last time you traveled?" And I said, "6 months ago." And he said, "Oh, well, no, it's saying here on the screen that you tested positive." And I said, "So I'm a number of someone that tested positive that didn't test positive. So it's just a number. Doesn't exist."
Oh, right.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. Right. So he was a nice guy. He said to me, "Listen, I don't know," but he said, "I'm only saying this to you because if you tested positive, you won't have to do the test because it will come up positive." And I
Right.
said, "Well, I'm just after telling you, I didn't test positive, so I guess I have to do the test." And he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Yeah, yeah." So I went on my way. I had to do a 14-day quarantine, as you do, and got a couple of visits from
They called over, did they?
They did, yeah, they did. And they had their badge up to my door, so I couldn't even see their face. It was a lady, she's a real nice lady, but I felt sorry for her because I'm sure she didn't want to do that, but she had to.
Mm.
And yeah, man, my coming back to my working situation, I haven't worked in 2 months. And you know that it's all down to the like jobs lined up, or even working for someone as a subcontractor. First thing they're asking you, and you have good relationships. Are you no, I'm not. Sorry, we can't give you any work. And it's happened overnight. Literally happened from you heard about it. It was one of them things. Oh, it might be coming in, and then it came in. Literally came in, and it was. I never thought it would go that far, pal. But they have. They're fairly over here. Not sure what it's like in Australia, but here they're strict on it. Now you need to go anywhere. Like when I say anywhere, I mean like restaurants, gyms, cinemas. You need a passport, but your passport has to be scannable. If it's not scannable, you can't get in.
Fuck.
Yeah. And also, if you want to fly inside Canada, you can't fly if you're not.
Wow. Yeah, this is for the listeners and anyone. Like, you know, I start speaking about these things in 2020, long before the things even arrived. And you know, this is part of the reason why I spoke how I spoke. And you know, it's the what do you do now with it's just anyways, I'll just quickly bring it back to, first of all, your you know, coming in, had you ever had a test before you crossed through the airport like that?
I only tested for reasons of traveling.
That was on the way back in?
No, because I was in, I went home in July. So I had to do a PCR test to travel.
Okay.
And then I had to do one coming back to Toronto in August. So they were the only two I done.
And they were
negative. Two of them were negative, yeah.
And they had you in the system as
as a positive, which is like just a number. How many people have they done that to?
Yeah, it's really interesting because, you know, again, which brings it back to my point is, you know, how long are you going to choose, you know, he's an expert type of thing, or the news or whatever, over human experience, you know? Why would Robbie want to do you wrong, or why would he want to lie to anybody with this story? This is news to me. I've not known this. I've never even realized that. And there's somebody I was talking to previous podcast there, a good friend of mine, but he he said there's okay, you can go down this road. I'll just say it. All of these tests arrived into Australia in 2019, long before any of this happened.
For fuck's sake.
You know, and there's receipts and there's docking information and all of that. But not to go down that route, just to bring it back to, like, what's next for you now, and how are you dealing with it all? What's your, I mean, this is, like I said, a wave of change. What's your mindset like, your emotions?
The change in the last 6 months for me, pal, since I got the news from me ma, I mean, it's been very stressful. I would say I wouldn't be one for being stressed or get anxiety, but I know what stress and anxiety is now, because the last 6 months I didn't know what was going on with me ma, like if she was going to live, and then work. And it like, obviously, like, not everything is about work, but when your livelihood is taken away from you and you don't have an income coming in, and you have a life, right? When that's taken away from you, and you know, you still spend money. You don't just stop spending money. You're like, wait, hold on, what's going on? And so it's been very stressful, but you know, I'm trying my best. And I do, like you mentioned, I do a podcast, but one thing about me, pal, is if I get stressed and when I get anxiety, I can't do anything. I can't put my mind on something. And I've always been like that. And when it comes to working out, doing my podcast, eating well, once I suffer stress, I put all of that to a side, and it's something I've tried to conquer, and it's something I work on daily. You know, I work on daily, from meditating, and I do a lot of Wim Hof, and that really helps me. But it still isn't. I can't get the mojo. you know.
Uh-huh.
So that's what it's done for me. That's what the impact of this has, and it only started affecting me when my ma got sick. So I decided that the best thing for me is to move home, and that's my next step. My next part of my journey is to move home for a few years and spend whatever quality time I can with my ma and be with my family. And that's something that I want to do. It's not something I'm doing because, like, obviously I love me ma, but I got the realization is, like, I've been out of Ireland really since I'm 24. I haven't lived in Ireland as an adult.
Wow.
So I haven't experienced Ireland as an adult. Well, so my experience of Ireland is if a 24-year-old running a
16-year-old,
a 16-year-old, an absolute clueless 24-year-old,
still going up a bogey ID. Well, Robbie, shaking, you're 24,
bud. License from you.
Full beard, bottle of Jack in the bag.
Unreal, but that's where it's taking me to, pal. Is you know, I want to be around my family, and who knows what will happen. But that's my goal I've set for this year, and to obviously get back into my podcasting. But I feel at ease now, knowing I'm going home.
You incredible. Know? Yeah, I'm really feeling that, and I mean, yeah. My next question was going to be, how long have you been away? So that's 16 years you've been living abroad.
Well, I went home for 9 months in that 16 years, but it was a confused 9 months because I got out of Australia.
You rocked up in Finglas with a dress and a wig on.
Yeah, that's why I moved back out. My mum and dad disowned me. They did.
Go out the window. Who's she?
Roberta. Who's Roberta?
Who owns all this extra nail polish?
Yeah. I was. But that's it, pal. It's been a long journey. Fantastic, but I think you know, when you've been searching for something, I think I've been searching all along is the answer is to go home, you know. And once I decided to go home, oh man, I was like,
yes, I love it. I love it.
And I'm not saying I'm going to live there for the rest of my life. I just I need to give Ireland a chance as an adult, and I never have.
I love it. And you know what just dropped in for me? It's like trusting your intuition. And again, it's like that. Stop it, man. I can go really deep with this, but the universe, as always, and our body, this is, for me, I believe that our body is a human hard drive, that every single thing that we've done throughout this life and the other ones before this is downloaded into this storage compartment.
All right.
And whenever we realign or remember, or, you know, the body is the biggest indicator of that. And that's when I speak about, you know, the house of cards collapsing. Again, when I read The Secret, it was like bang, 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 bang. It was like realization after realization after realization. And then the same when I went and done the bridge, it's like bang, this is it. You know, even though I wasn't looking to change career or anything like that, it was like bang, this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, type of thing. You know, and same with the book. That led me down that curiosity, and then bringing it back to you, and you know, when you made that decision and your body just gone, you know, relief.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's so true. And I remember the day so well when I was sitting at home and, you know, thinking, and I asked myself, do I need to go home? And then once I said it to myself, it's like, fuck, I knew it was that release of whatever inside my body, and it doesn't come around often, you know. When it does, you know, it's the right decision. And, you know, it's not going to be easy to get home. There's a lot of things that I have to put in place before it goes, but I've made my decision to move home this year, so it's happening.
Yeah, you know? Beautiful. Huge respect, Robbie. And also, there's also another part of, you know, my question here is because, you know, a lot of people have these downloads and these, you know, these realizations and awakenings and whatever anyone wants to call them, and then suppress them out of fear.
Yeah, man.
Can you delve into, the importance of trusting your intuition when things like this happen?
Listen, I, I think for years, like, I'll be honest, man. I still think I do have the fear in a lot of things, because I think my biggest fear is doing what you done, Darragh. Is doing what you done, is walking away from your job, and I fear that. I fear that because there's other avenues I would like to explore, but I have that fear, and that holds me back. But on other things, I don't have fear. I can easily just do it. But I honestly do think you need to go with that gut feeling. And as I said to you just there, you don't often, for me, I don't often get that feeling. But when I get it, I know I go with it, and nothing else matters. I could have a lot of things in my life, but once that feeling is there, I know it's like it's talking to me, and everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you gotta trust it. You really do. You really, really gotta trust it. And I've gone with it a few times in life, and I've done all right.
Yeah, 100%. And another way of looking at this, there's your small self and your higher self, and the small self is the one, the ego that's in there, and telling you you're not good enough, you're not, confident enough, you are not intelligent enough, smart enough, strong enough, all of the things. And whenever you have these business ideas or whatever, you want to go, whatever, you want to approach that girl or that boy or that man, and you want to start a relationship, but all of the stories in your mind that hold you back, that is regarded as your lower self, and these type of things, these realizations and the intuition of the body is what's seen as the higher self that's guiding you. So it's like it's that light bulb moment, aha moment they call it in this industry. But that that's your higher self giving you a hint that you're on the right track, whatever that may be. And I mean, is that right and wrong? It's relative. It's like what may be wrong in this moment, further down the line, you get to see, well, that happened, and I learned, or I made that mistake, and I learned from that because it's led me to this point. So again, it's right and wrong is relative. It's like, it's such a mind fuck, but it's incredible when you learn to spin your perception and look at things from a 360-degree angle. And then in regards to me changing career, it's like, and now again, this is a huge highlight, and thanks for bringing this, Robbie. It's the this being a part of a system that is in dominant control. So right now, I'm talking to you, Robbie. You're in Toronto. You're excluded from society because of a medical choice that, on one hand, you've seen the damage it's caused to like the queen of your life.
Yeah, everything to me. The
woman
there's no
who
words,
brought
right?
you into this. Exactly. And then on the other hand, you have this system, this overlord, this corporation, this faceless system telling you that you have to do this or else you're not allowed play. You're not allowed in. So just to highlight here the importance of becoming self-sustainable in today's world.
Yeah, man.
Because where I'm sitting, that this is the dominant tyrannical control that they want and have always been pushing for, not just now, but for decades and decades. Like, I don't want to go too deep into this, but this is not something that just showed up 2 years ago from I won't go down that again.
I'm with you.
But you know what I mean? But so to bring it back to the importance of being self-sustainable in today's world, this system, and here people are on the ground believing they're doing the right thing, or for whatever reason they own a company and they're not willing to accept you in because they lose their business to this system. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a case of fearing that, that jump or embracing. It's a case of, right, what am I going to do now? Because my livelihood and my life depend on it.
Yeah, man.
For me, this is part of how I am. I don't give a fuck what they
Mm,
do with the place. I'm gonna figure out a way. I'm gonna meet new people. I'm moving up the coast to live by people who are becoming self-sustainable. I'm learning about the land, learning how to grow food. I'm learning how to harvest my own energy, learning how to uh, be on land and
mm,
farm. You know, I grew up in the city. I've lived in the city all my life. Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? I changed career. First of all, I changed career to be of service to humanity and to people. Um, and for them, whatever. So that's what I done to change career. Now it's a case of right. This was I changed career in the start of this, but it was 2015 when when I made the declaration that this was my purpose,
Hmm.
and when it showed up. So just I'm ranting off here about my story, but
No, man, no.
just
It's good to hear it though, pal. You know.
yeah, just to for everyone and anyone that listens to this right now, there's never been a more important time in history to get off the ditty off the state.
I agree, man. I agree. It it I think it's very important for people to listen to the, like, not that me and you have answers to everything, but to listen to people that aren't just I don't think we're brainwashed, you know, and I think we can think for ourselves, and to be able to step away from the system. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
What way you do it, I don't know. You know, I'm probably still searching for myself to do that, but I know I will find a way, and it will hit me. And when I know, I'll get that good feeling.
100%. And again, it's like you've what I say, it's like that treasure hunt, and you get another piece of the code. So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
just this literally just come into my dropped in from me right now through my mind. People say it's spirit. And again, coming back to ayahuasca, spirit, she's always with you.
Oh, mate.
I spoke to the shaman that I sat with, and it's like, once you've sat and experienced, she never leaves you.
Yeah.
Again, it's nature. It's nature. We're always connected to nature, but bringing it back, I believe that's like a piece of the puzzle, and then something else will show up, and then maybe when you're home, fucking
Yeah,
this
man.
$1 million business idea might come through.
See, that time I told you I'll be a millionaire. I might be 20 years off, but you know. But listen, I believe that because, you know why I believe it, Pat? Because I'm very open, and I'm very open
Hmm.
to anything, and I'm open to change, and I'm open to anything happening to me. I'm not a guy that will say, "Oh no, I can't do this or I can't do that." I mean, I'll just do it, you know. And I think I think a lot of people are like that, you know. They need to be like that. You can't shut off. You need to be open to shit happening.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
And yeah, like the beautiful thing as well is, it's shit happening is part of the reason so many people are copping on and waking up. And
yeah,
again, like, it's from my perspective, this is the one of the most beautiful times in history of the world, because there's a mass awakening happening faster than we've ever seen before, and people are realizing that. And I mean, in Australia, all of these rural coastal country not neighborhoods, towns,
mm,
their the house prices have gone through the roof,
yeah,
because so many people are
moving
becoming
out in that
aware. Yeah,
direction.
they're moving
Yeah,
out into
yeah,
self-sustainability, community, growing
yeah,
their own food, harvesting their own energy source, and then the same water, trapping the rainwater and stuff like that. And then also, at the start of this, when I was talking and speaking now, there was like, not many people, to be honest, like, even resonating or understanding or whatever. Um, but now, like just before Christmas, there was over 1 million people on the streets. Doctors, firemen and women, policemen and women, nurses, all of that. And people are realizing both one, the lockdown, people are realizing, well, I didn't need to go and sit in that office for fucking
Yeah,
8 hours or
yeah.
12 hours a day. I can do it from home, and I can do this, or I can have my kids and bring my kids to school. And so in a lot of ways, yes,
Mm.
it is how it is, and it is being really nasty to some people, and full love to a lot of people and respect. Everybody's been affected differently,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's also created a massive awakening, and people are getting to see that they don't need to be in that rat race.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that
so true.
you go into creche, you go to school, you do what you're told, like that um memorization type of thing. So you're taught to memorize the history that they want you to memorize, and then you go through school, you get the job, you get the wife, you get the house, the kids, and then when you retire, you live your life then after having paid tax for fucking 40 or 50 years. And if you live to that day, that's when you get to live off your what's it called? Your fucking superannuation, you call it here,
Your
your
pension.
pension.
Yeah, your pension. Yeah. I
Your
mean,
pension.
how fun does that sound?
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for that day. Fuck's
Yeah, when
sake.
you hate everything and you're like
Unreal,
miserable.
huh?
Look, I'm
Unbelievable.
getting 200, I don't know, it's a few $100s a week, isn't it?
Fuck, man. I don't think I've ever checked, but I mean, that doesn't sound something I want to do.
Mm.
But who knows? Like, I just think like change is coming,
Hmm.
and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, look, at when I was on that plant medicine journey, there was an astrologist in the room, and
Oh, really?
yeah, it was, bro, honestly, for anybody, with this type of work, meditation, mindfulness retreats, yoga retreats, um, plant medicine. I mean, fuck. We'll do another. We'll chat again, Robbie. We'll chat again for sure.
Mate, I would
But
love to do a ceremony with you. If
yeah,
if you go to Ireland and we're in there at the same time, I would love to find someone that we could do a ceremony together.
yeah, I know. I can figure that out. Anyways, definitely, I can figure that out. I will be home. When are you looking at going home?
It will be probably September.
Yeah, I'll be definitely gone by then. I will. If I'm not gone by then, I'll be. We were planning on. We were planning on going for 4 months because I haven't seen my family in 4 years now.
Jesus
Yeah, yeah.
Christ,
Our
mate.
wedding, our wedding was cancelled. Well, postponed because the borders literally closed. Fucking a few weeks before it was to happen. The wedding was in Bali, um. So we were going to see everybody there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So we didn't
yeah.
go home and all of that jazz. And yeah, so that was in 2018 was the last time we were home. So our family haven't seen the kids.
Jesus.
Um, the last time they seen Fia, like she was 6 months old. So we do plan on being there for 4 months, though, with everything that's going on. It's like now I'm in the mindset, we're free flow. There's
Mm,
nothing. Well, nothing is
nothing.
everything is impermanent. And then it's
Yeah,
again, how
yeah,
can you be with change?
yeah, yeah,
Let go
yeah,
of control. This is
yeah.
like this is the podcast, the waves of change. Um, for me, the sooner you let go of control of the outcome, the more peaceful and calm your life can be in this moment, because you don't know what's here in 12 months, you don't know what's in 4 months or
Yeah, man.
whatever. So yeah, we plan on a one-way flight and a one-way flight. We'll have to quarantine all that jazz, and again, it's just right when it comes to that's the moment, then we'll go
I
right.
know.
We'll
Yeah,
analyze it now. Right, what's the plan? We'll
yeah.
sort of gauge it slightly,
Mm,
but
yeah.
not have this dominant
Yeah.
control.
You
Oh, if
have
it
to
doesn't,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So we were planning on 4 months, and then the two of us run our own businesses. So, 4 months with two kids, going being on the road that time was a big lesson as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need to support the babysitters and creche in order to be able to run our businesses, or
for
else one of
sure.
us have to do the minding and the other does the business work. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's so Ireland for 4 months now is it's not it is a question mark, but it's also you know what is what is most free flowing for us
Yeah.
as a family.
What's best for you? Yeah. And listen, man, once you know you're going, you don't need to set a time scale on it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it could be a month,
Mm-hmm.
could be 6 months, but you
Mm-hmm.
know you're going, and that's it.
And that's the beauty of being self-sustainable. Like our business is being online. It's like, yeah, we can work there. I don't want to, but I also part of my mission is to bring this work to Ireland
It
and
needs
Irish
to.
people
It
and
needs
Irish
to.
people.
It's
So and
where
it's
you're from, pal. They need people like you to look up to. They do.
and
It's
well, for me, I don't want anybody to look up to me. I want them to look up to themselves and wake up to themselves and the power that they possess
mm,
themselves. Because we
mm.
all, I'm not special. I'm not
No,
special. I just trusted and took a fucking chance, And this is the
you def
point of the podcast: is to, you know, realize there's chances everywhere. It's our choice. Just whatever there's chance, we just have to decide it for ourselves, and it's our choice. So instead of people looking up to me, it's creating leaders,
yeah, man. Yeah.
creating leaders and creating that ripple effect. Because looking home into Ireland now, I see huge opportunity, and there's these running clubs in the city, all around Dublin, running clubs that they started up during the lockdown
COVID.
period,
Yeah.
and they now travel all around Europe to do triathlons. There's a few kids there that set up podcasts and are absolutely blowing the place to smithereens. And then there's these group gatherings, on the beach, swim
Yeah.
rise and
Yeah. I know
cacao
loads of them.
and,
Yeah.
and mindfulness. And these are the areas where we're from. It's like
Yeah. It's
fucking
great.
deadly.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what
It's
I mean?
great.
When I was starting, it was unheard of, and that was a big part of my fear was, what will people think of me? So,
Yeah.
because I'm from where I'm from and all of that. And yeah, well, looking back, man, to see. So on one side, yeah, it is really, really heavy and dark and dense energy. But
Hmm.
again, perspective, what I can see is a huge awakening. And
Yeah, man.
again, nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah.
It's on you to save you.
Yeah. True. That's
And if anybody takes any inspiration, just look around you. Like literally look around you in Dublin, in Ireland, at all the people who are creating their own reality, no
mm.
longer dependent on the state for mental health services,
They'll
and
be
sitting
waiting a long
around.
time for that.
Exactly, and sitting around complaining about it either. They're just out and they're doing it and they're getting on with their life and not getting on with they're fucking thriving in their
Mm.
life.
Yeah, man. I agree.
And again, cacao is a beautiful medicine that drops into your heart. And then cold water therapy, again about mindfulness and meditation.
What's a big thing for me is doing a Wim Hof, the breathing method. Man, it is a fantastic thing. And anytime I feel a bit stressed, a bit anxiety, Wim Hof takes 2 minutes. Bang.
Yeah. And here, where did you learn Wim Hof's methods? Have you sat with
I
him?
No, man, and it's one of the thing I would love to do. And then actually, I have a vision board and of two people I want on my podcast. One is Wim Hof, and one is Cesar Milan. And
Who's
Cesar Milan, he's a dog expert,
Oh, right, lovely.
and I'm like dogs are everything to me. So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're me two people that I look up to, and I have for years. So I practice Wim Hof a lot, and I've been doing it for a long time. And it just I caught him on a podcast, and I remember just saying, "Well, he's an interesting guy." And since that, I've just been, figuring it out. I have a app on my phone. I listen to it daily.
Yeah, yeah.
I ride with that. Yeah, didn't you sit with? Did you sit with him?
I
Did
sat
you
with him,
go and?
yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
6 hours, 6 or 8 hours I sat with him, yeah. lunatic. I was right in front. Again, it's like confidence things. Like, when I started going to personal development workshops, I used to be fucking terrified. Won't lie. I used to be terrified, and confidence and everyone was open and outgoing, and that without any alcohol on board, it's sort of like, you know,
Yeah,
Saoirse's out working the room, chatting to people, and I'm sitting there thinking, you're at that
yeah.
fucking bringing me here and leaving me here on my own, like, fuck you. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
the
mean? It's
cheeky.
like,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
hell, it's like I'm sweating. Somebody
yeah,
says something to me. But
yeah,
but yeah, with Wim, by the time I got to Wim Hof's workshop, I made sure I was like right at the front. Um, yeah, man, that man's a genius. And again, oh my God, that man defied the laws of physics. He just defied science. He
yeah,
defied every fucking numerological, whatever the word, numerology. Anyways, it's tripping me up right now. But he defied science and he
yeah, man.
defied everything that we have been taught to be real and true, right?
That's right.
He came along and blew fucking science away, right? Through human experience. They're like, no, no, no. The science tells us you can't do that. And he's like, yeah, watch this. Bang. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Jumps
yeah,
into a frozen fucking lake and swims 100 meters underwater when his eyes actually froze over and he couldn't see. So, you know what I mean? You want to come and speak about science,
yeah.
give your fucking head a shake. You know what I
He's a,
mean?
he's a, he's
Because
a, like, man. What didn't they inject him with some virus, and
he
he
taught it
said,
out. Yeah, he healed
yeah, yeah,
himself
he
through the
healed
mind and the
himself.
breath. Yeah.
Yeah, and the
So
brain work. Yeah, what the
and
hell, man?
again, so this is a huge example for what is going on in the world today. How much they've replaced God, nature, human experience with the science. If you don't trust the science or you don't agree with the science, you're anti
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah,
So the invitation here is not to bloody poke anyone or call anyone, sheep or, it's
yeah.
it's just to bring awareness here. So here's a guy that proved science wrong and has been proving science wrong for a very long time, for years. He's helped cure people of cancer,
Yeah.
of leukemia, of MS. Is it MS? Like all sorts of different ailments that were in the scientific and the Western world seen as final. What's the name of that word? Uh, fatal, fatal.
Yeah, right, right.
Fatal illnesses. And yeah, it's interesting because I'm reading. I'm going to study to learn to be a breathwork facilitator,
No
and
way.
it's a choice between two. And the guy that just came to me yesterday because of my friend. He's cold water and he's trained by Wim Hof. I'll connect you with him on Instagram.
If you can,
Um,
yeah, that'd be great.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So
is he in Australia?
he's in Australia. Yeah, so he goes up to here called what's called the Snowy Mountains, and that's where
Right.
he does his teachings. And this landed here for me yesterday. It's the one I was going to. Well, the choice is one is in Queensland, but
Hmm.
with the situation with the borders and all of that, it's like right, and it's a bit more expensive. And then this one came yesterday, and it's cold water therapy and breath work in that regard. And I'm weighing up. This one makes more sense because it's closer. I don't have
Hmm.
to fly out of the
Yeah,
state
man.
and be away from the family. And then the other one makes more sense because of the network. It's already sorted the network that I'm in, and it's not cold. I'm not a big cold person. You know what I mean? So,
No, don't come to
so
Canada.
yeah, yeah. Robbie, fucking love you so much,
Legend,
brother.
man. Legend.
Thank you. Just in context of time, we will continue and we'll definitely have another
100% we
chain
will,
wag.
mate.
Maybe when you land on the Emerald Isle and let me
Listen,
know what the change.
you let me know when you get there. Anything, I could end up going back. I'm like the way I'm living right now. It could be if I get a call, I'm gone. So that's the way
Yeah,
it is. So
yeah, yeah,
who knows? Who knows? But listen, me and you will continue our conversations as we usually do.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely, like, to be continued means I will have you on as a guest again to touch on
For
it. We'll
sure.
probably do an actual plant medicine conversation, the whole
Love to.
conversation being
Love to.
plant medicine. So, brother, without further ado, Mr. Bob Spanter,
Thanks a lot.
thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you
my
very
man.
much for your vulnerability. And I finish with two questions. One,
Yeah. Go for it.
are you a millionaire yet?
Millionaire in here, bud. In here.
Brilliant. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that. I love
yeah,
that. Yeah, great.
yeah.
Good answer. And
Yeah, man.
secondly, what does the waves of change mean to you?
Waves of change to me is, I guess you could say, it's just for me it's um just being okay with change, and being free with how would I say it? Just being free, like being okay with stepping out of your comfort zone, and you know, not not being reliant on being in staying in the know. If that makes sense to you, that's what it means to me. Being able to adjust to change for me, like I like change. I embrace it. Sometimes I don't know what change I need, but when I'm in the moment of the change, I think that's when I work best, to be honest. So for me, being able to just accept change is you know, I, I would say I'm very free with change. It's like I'm probably not even making sense here, but that's when I think of waves of change, I think of just being free and not being stuck in something that I'm uncomfortable with. And I've been thinking of this for years about like I've done so much on the just by just saying, you know what, I need a change, and just going with it, and I'm trying to improve my life and step out of my comfort zone. But the one thing I think I'm stuck with is in my own job. But I don't hate my job. It's just I feel like I need a change. But it's what change is it I go to? That's the one thing that I get stuck with. I ask myself that every day.
Robbie, it's
I
been a
appreciate it,
fun.
pal. You're a
I
legend.
appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for your time. Until next time, man.
Yeah,
We will obviously remain in touch. But yeah, love
yeah.
you.
Give me love
Love
to the
you.
family, and I'll be in touch. And I wish you all, nothing but success, pal. I only have that feel for you, and I'm sure you will. Proud of you.
Beautiful. Same.
Legend.
Yeah.
Take care, brother. Bye
Good luck,
bye.
my man. Peace.
Take care. Bye. Bye.